Wherever you are.
September 19th, council meeting, September. All right, everybody standing for the pledge of allegiance. Chuck Carter, would you like to lead the pledge, please? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call.
Ryan,
Here.
Ash,
Here.
Westmore,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Godwin,
Here.
Conroy, here.
All right, do we have approval for the minutes? Would you like to read them first? We can take time.
Motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Rash,
Aye.
Densmore,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Godwin,
Aye.
Conroy, Steiner,
Abstain.
All right.
Wasn't here.
Oh, that's right.
Minutes approved. The President Holly Miller from Summit County was going to be here today. I was just informed that she will not be able to make it, but would like to make it another time. So as soon as that comes up, I will let you know. Unfinished business. All right, Mayor's Communications. As you guys remember, about a month ago, I passed out, or I had this out for anybody who wanted meetings to go to for your property taxes and the property values. You know, it's great. We live in such an expensive neighborhood until you have to pay your taxes. One of the things that was brought to my attention that makes a lot of sense is that if you type in 44216, we're not the only ones there. Small villages like Green and New Franklin are there, and those guys, chances are their properties are worth a lot more than ours, and I think we might have been grouped together. So I called over there, of course, got the standard answering machine. We'll get back to you in 3 to 5 years. But no, I'm kidding, Summit County, in case you're listening. No, but I didn't leave a message. I decided to send them an email instead. So I found it on an email, asked them to reevaluate. Looking at our area, Clinton is a separate entity from New Franklin and Green. Haven't got anything back yet, but I am fighting on your behalf to try and help you out for those of you who really don't want to pay more than you think you should. So,
do we think Jackson's is Jackson part of that 442?
I didn't look. Are they?
County.
Okay.
Yep. There's some in Jackson and as well as,
Wow. Okay.
We might want to get a second opinion. I mean, the county is relying on information from the state, that 34% increase. Realtors do this every day. They could compare Clinton to New Franklin, Green, and Jackson, and we could see what that comparison was. But we would have to find somebody that has access to that information.
Does that include, are they included on that $61,000 value for people that live in Clinton?
Right.
As far as pay?
Right now, I'm only assuming that they are. They could get back to me and say, we've already evaluated that, and too bad, your values have gone up. They could say that, or they could come back and say, oh, sorry, we never thought of that. Here, we're going to cut yours down some. I don't know what they're going to do. All right, but I think Matt's idea of a real estate, does anybody know a good real estate agent? Okay, you can get me in touch with that person, and we will, that's a great idea to get second opinion from someone who's really in the know on this. And that is all that I have under my, Diane, the Apple Fest was fantastic, by the way. Yeah, it was, that's like a great crowd there, so thank you for that. And I'm not sure, maybe it was, a freshly painted house drew them in, or maybe it was all the fritters you had. Not sure which, but it did. Everything looked nice, looked fantastic, and it ran very well. Thank you very much for all you do. With that, council communications and council committee reports.
All I have for is I got our articles turned in time. And then we got an email saying that Norfolk wasn't ready. And so we got an extension. They extended it for them. So, instead of being in the mailboxes, on October 1st, they probably won't get to the mailbox till October 8th unless there's another delay. But thank you for those who provided articles, because our stuff was in on time. And we didn't have a lot really this time, but I think our residents appreciate knowing what's going on. So.
All right, thank you very much.
The Finance Committee met last Thursday, so we had a good turnout for that from council and mayor and the street department. We reviewed backhoe appropriations in the 2024 budget. I do have minutes prepared, but I want some of my facts checked before that, and I'll present that at the next council meeting. Our next committee meeting is October 3rd at 6 o'clock.
Thank you very much. Anything from this end? All right. Moving on, citizens' comments. You know, every meeting I ask, well, I wish a lot of citizens show up, so thank you for doing that. First up, we have Phil Miller, who chose not to speak. Did you change your mind? Okay. All right, Beth Miller, yes, you wanted to speak? Oh, we don't have the microphone ready. Sorry about that. You can, but let me get that up for you.
Echo, it's only for like people that aren't, you won't even notice the difference.
You won't hear it.
We do make you go check, check.
No.
Yeah, this is only for the outside world.
Then maybe if I have to hear myself.
Yeah, you won't hear it.
Hello. Okay, good. Okay. So, something was brought up in the past, I can't remember exactly when it first began, but it's kind of amped up a bit. Having to do with, we have 6.5 acres over on Clinton Road, and we have some chickens there. We started raising them during COVID, and we have both roosters and hens. And we started off with just chickens, but we decided we wanted to see if we even liked doing it, or if we were like, this is not for us, you know what I mean? Because I'm from this city. I'm from Houston originally, Texas. And so this was kind of new to me. So it's kind of, let's just see, kind of, dip our toe in and see if we even like it. And we do like it. I mean, we like that it's able to give us freedom from, like, the groceries, like when eggs ran out at the grocery store, they were overpriced, or, concerns about chickens, or for everything from, what do you call it, when they genetically modify animals, all those kinds of things. We were like, we can skirt all this if we raise our own chickens. And so some of them are, the roosters we primarily raise for meat, for breeding. I mean, so you don't need that many for breeding, but if you're raising them for meat, you want them for that. They also protect the whole flock. They're able to protect the whole flock. As you can imagine, we have plenty of predators over there. We have foxes, we have hawks and coyotes, raccoons will get them. If you had a minx, apparently they can devastate your whole flock. So it's nice to have something out there to protect them. And so that's why we went ahead and got roosters too. But we're not interested in having a whole bunch. We just want enough to protect the girls and themselves, and to breed, and you don't need that many for that. So we raise them to maturity, and then what we've been doing is either butchering them, putting them in the freezer, eating them, or we recently started taking them to auction. So that's where that stands. And so, where else? Okay. So let me start with, I'm not going to go through all of this. It's not important to do today. So I'll just get to the part about, so we had a neighbor to the west of us that started complaining. And I think when he first sent a complaint to us by text, it was July 14th, 2022. And he, was nice enough. He was like, your roosters are bothering me. They are irritating to me. I can hear them. And so, what could you please put a crow collar on them? So we didn't know much about crow collars, but just like learning about what we needed to for today, we did plenty of research, and so, YouTube videos and everything. And so my husband purchased in the very same night that they had the text messaging. But they shipped out by by July 18th, 2022. And that first week, we went ahead and tried them. And what happened was, we were very, very hopeful that they would work. But what was happening was, we would put it on them, and they would slowly, they were still standing, but they slowly lowered to the ground till their head was on the ground, and then they'd just stay there. And we're like, I think we're killing them, and we have to get this off of them. Because the next thing was going to be dropping over. So we felt really inhumane then. And so, but we tried loosening it, we tried adjusting it. But it was either too tight for them to withstand it, or it was too loose for it to stay on. Like we were like, okay, it's on them. So, it looked like it was as good as we're going to get. And then by the next morning, it had fallen off. So, those were not working out for us. And we looked for other options along those lines, and we didn't see any that would be more viable. Then May 3rd, we had heard a bit more complaining. So May 3rd, 2023, we sold 7 of our roosters at an auction down in Amish country. And so we were doing this not because, we weren't actually ready to get rid of them. We were planning on, probably canning them, but we wanted to sort of please and appease this neighbor. And so we went ahead and got rid of them at the auction, just to sort of make peace, or please people. And then by, July 20th, so that was May 3rd. By July 20th, 23, the zoning inspector, Jeff, had sent us a letter. I don't know if you guys need to see any of this. But he sent us a letter telling us that we needed to contact him as soon as possible with an issue on our property, blah, blah, blah. And so we did. So he told us, that there's a lot of complaining coming from next door. So we said, we've tried to do... I'm sorry.
He didn't say.
Yeah, he didn't say who it was, but we already were pretty sure we knew, because no one else was complaining about that. So having said all that, so that's what we've done up to this point, to try and please or compensate or compromise, and it was things that we didn't actually have to do. Because we're within our rights and our boundaries, we didn't have to do those things, but we've been trying to. And it seemed almost like with every effort, everything we got rid of more, everything we tried to do every time we bought something more to try and make this work, it actually amped up further and further. So by, I think it was, I have it on this page, August 6th, I think, was the date of the first complaint that was filed with the cops in New Franklin Township. And then the next one was filed the next day on August 7th. And then another one was filed September 13th. So there have been three of them since August 6th. And so when it seemed like nothing was, and then we got phone calls and texts that implied that we would be sued and it would cost a lot of money. So we're here to try and represent ourselves and our side in this situation. Because, people move out to a place like this. Like I said, I grew up in Houston, where you were micromanaged by a homeowners association, every little thing. And you move out to some place like this to, have some freedoms, to have a garden, to have some animals if you want. Obviously, our animals are on the other side of the property from the neighbor. They're almost as far away as we can get them. They're directly behind us. We're about 50 feet from them. The neighbor's about almost 1,000 feet, I think. And so what I was gonna, so decibels, I've never studied them before, but I suddenly needed to. And so my husband downloaded an app that does inverse square law. It's an inverse square law calculator. Then it calculates decibel points and distance. So so he went up next to the roosters. They are 87 to 88 decibels, and I had already known that they, on average, are 90, decibels, which is about the same as a dog bark. Then I was like, well, how many decibels is it to our house from the roosters to us? He says it's 68. You go 500 feet, which is halfway to our neighbor's house, and it's 50 decibels. And if you go 1,000 feet, it's 44 decibels. So I'm thinking you guys might already know a little bit about decibels. Speaking of which, we hear a train. But I think you guys know a bit about this already. But I wanted to look at a common noise chart, and I brought it here if anyone's interested in looking at it too. But I'll kind of go through a few of what of the common noises that would be comparable. Okay, so like I said, at let's just say halfway to the neighbor's house, if we're just calculating halfway to their house, let's go with 50. It's 44 if it's 1,000 feet. Well, let's just say 50. At 50, it's the same noise level as light traffic, moderate rainfall, a refrigerator, and activities in a business office. Then if you go up to 60, just to kind of compare, like what's louder than that? Well, that would be like conversational speech. So I guess like what we're doing right now. An air conditioner, and again, it brings up a refrigerator. I guess it depends on the model as to how loud it is. You go up to 70. It's a shower, dishwasher, average street traffic, and hens. Our hens, when they lay, they'll cackle. They don't make a lot of noise unless they lay, and then I'm sure I'd be squawking a little bit. But they only lay during the day. And so there's that. And then if you go up to 80, that would be like heavy traffic or a diesel freight train. That's 80. Roosters on average are 90. Like I said, he measured them actually today. They're 80. One of them was 87, the other one's 88. But it's comparable to lawnmower or a dog bark. Let's see. Then just get comparison. If you're going like 110 would be like a chainsaw. What's 110 to 125? At 130, that would be like a stadium, like packed stadium crowd noise. An ambulance or a train horn is 130 to 150. Other things that gunshots are between 155 up to 100. 155 up to 165. And other things that are supposed to be around the same as a chicken crow is a blender, power tools, and hair dryer. That's if you're standing right next to them. Trying to think of anything else I feel like I need to say here while I have your time.
Well, may I ask you something?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, matter of fact, the last meeting, I took out my decimal meter on here, and we were hitting 70 as we were talking here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have familiarized ourselves with that. You said the police came out 3 times?
They actually didn't come talk to us because they didn't have enough cause to.
Okay.
I mean, I guess ask them.
Did they say anything to you regarding, are you guys in the wrong anyway legally according to them?
We actually went to the police department in New Franklin and asked if we were doing anything wrong. We asked, are we within our rights? Are we breaking the law? And they told us none at all. We told them that we had done, with the things we had done to try and please people, And they said you didn't have to do any of that. You didn't have to get rid of you didn't have to do any of that. And we wanted to try and please them anyway, whether we had to or not, but they said you didn't have to do that.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
How long have you been a resident in Clinton?
We moved here in 2016.
2016. So I was on council previously, and in 2010, the village was exploring ordinances for farm animals, chickens. In my minute notes I just looked up here, we were exploring Kent, the city of Kent,
Okay.
because they had ordinances that had stood up against that, and we were exploring that. So we've had issues in the past with farm animals, chickens.
Comes up every once in a while.
So I don't know if anything came of that after I left or not, or if it's still nothing in our ordinances. And then the other comment I would make on the DB, everything you said is accurate, but what's missed a lot of times, 10 dB is twice as loud. So I think you listed a truck at 80 dB and the chicken's at 90 dB. That means that chicken's twice as loud as a truck going by. So 10 dB is 2 times. It's twice the volume.
One key thing, though, she did mention also, because you step out distance, because
Sure.
does fade.
And it'll go.
And that's an important factor.
I like the fact that you brought up that you have approached Franklin Police Department, which is our policing authority. We actually have an officer here. Now, would you care to speak to
Could you,
what was said and in your coming out and investigating any of the calls? What has the police department?
So I believe they talked to Officer Howell, Jimmy Howell, our female officer, when they came in, I think a few weeks ago, she had said, and yeah, I mean, it was passed on to us as roll call, should have changed it. They had come in, the other half regarding the rooster complaint, chicken complaint on Clinton Road, and the officer, I believe it was Officer Harvey, was supposed to be Harvard and prosecutor's office. Just a lot of times I call the prosecutors, see if there's any avenue we can go, and they wouldn't support any charge, nothing criminal for us to intervene at all. And we had talked to them, so if they're not authorizing anything, we're not gonna intervene because we don't support the prosecutor's office, of course. So, yeah, I mean, they aren't doing anything wrong, it's not a police matter at this time. And, so there's nothing that, they're not doing wrong in the village, or violating any of their noise ordinances or anything like that, so at this time, it's a civil dispute.
That's where officially we need to leave it then.
the zoning inspector, I talked with him and he said they're well within their means.
That's just what he said.
Yeah, they're well within their means for the acres that they have. They could have more animals than they do, you know.
If they had 2 cows and 1 donkey,
Right.
you'd really have a mess.
Peacocks would be so pretty around that pond. But we would never do that because, I mean, like, that would be obnoxious and we don't want it.
Well, thank you very much for coming and speaking with us.
Yes. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you for
All right.
being heard.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
Yes, you too.
Next up, Chuck Clark, you may, Mark, yes?
So, I'm the next door neighbor, so, we do in fact have an ordinance, and Officer Heinball's house, Village Road, where the most people root. If you look at 1307, I sent a text to show 1307.01, section I, it does not talk about decibel readings, it talks about the decibel code, it talks about loud code, and one other item that it goes out, so that is in our current Colorado ordinances. And there is some covering up.
Well, actually, I have, it's right here in front of me, and, 1137.01I, a nuisance shall be defined as loud and frequent or individual sounds or obnoxious odors from livestock that causes serious annoyance or disturbance to other persons. It's pretty vague. It's pretty vague. And again, that's hard to prove. It's hard to prove.
Well,
I-
they do prove.
Okay, but then again, this is a civil matter.
Right.
This is a civil matter. I know that, and I appreciate everyone's position, and I'm sorry that it couldn't or can't be resolved in some fashion,
So can I
neighbor to
speak?
neighbor.
Can I
However,
speak a minute, please?
yeah, sure.
So, do you know where, Jim McCormick lives?
No,
Okay. Jim McCormick lives up over the hill, across the road from where I live. You know where I live. So you go up over the hill to the old farmhouse. He lives 2 doors past that, and he can hear it there, and he will test that. So that is loud. What happens with decibels, it goes tenfold each time. And in the area that we live in, it intensifies because it bounces, sound bounces around in there. So, you know, we're talking about trains, we're talking about traffic. When you're sitting there and these roosters are, they give the next door neighbor one, which was a great thing. Well, they have one.
Hey, let's, keep to one person, please.
They have one now, so, I think they had 13, whatever they had, you have 2, because I think they're 2 different crows. And then they all 3 crow back and forth. So this crowing literally goes on hundreds of times a day. So for you to sit there and say that's, you've never come up and witnessed it, Marissa.
what did I say?
That you said that this is a non-issue, that it's not a prosecutable issue, is what you're saying.
I did not say that. Those were not my words.
It's not a criminal, that was the zoning code. Zoning department has to go issue a citation on zoning, not a police ordinance that I can go write a zoning.
So you're saying that you can't enforce that ordinance?
I cannot enforce it, it was the zoning, the section you're referring to is in the zoning code section. The zoning department of the village would have to enforce that, they'd have to look into that and enforce it, make a decision. We would go there with them for purposes of keeping the peace during a situation or the issuance of the ticket. But criminally, I can't go write a criminal summons to get somebody to go to Barber to court because the prosecutor's not authorizing that. It would be granted by the prosecutor. So the zoning,
Okay,
it would have to rely on the zoning department to
Mr.
look into it.
thank you for
Mr.
clarifying.
Clark,
So here, now let me.
Zone-
Let him speak.
go
Let
ahead.
me say one more thing. I think I have the floor. We do like to sleep with the windows open. That is virtually impossible. We've been awakened at 3 o'clock at night. The neighbor across the street, who is reluctant to say anything because he rents over there, and he's not healthy. But he hears it constantly. So roosters crowing, I love hearing roosters crowing, but to hear them all day long, it wears on your health and your well-being, and we feel like we're being driven from our homes, literally. When you can't have the windows open, and it's too much. It's too much. I'm sorry. And I have offered them other options. I have a place that they can move them to, and the people will help take care of them. I don't respond to that, but that is available. So I am too trying to work through this with my neighbors. I don't like this. You know, we're trying to be retired and enjoy our home, but that's really impossible. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Mr. Clark, if you was to take this in front of a judge, he's gonna have the zoning inspector there. The zoning inspector is gonna tell him the ordinance. You wasted your money.
Could I speak before we go further?
Let me finish now. If you waste your money taking it to court, when officer told you the court system already said you wasn't gonna win.
Well, hey, if I could clarify this, what the officer said is that this section right here that does seem partially applicable in what I can tell is a zoning issue, not a police issue.
What I just
So,
said,
yeah.
it's a zoning issue.
Okay, so let's,
If you take it to court,
One more word.
mhm.
all right, go ahead, Chuck, one final word, then we'll move on.
If we go to court, which is the last thing I want to do, it would go before a jury. So that's where it's headed, if we can't get it resolved. I really feel like we're gonna be able to, but
Yeah.
at this point, it's still really bad.
I do wish that any one of us up here could wave a magic wand, make both you happy, and unfortunately, that's not the case here, and it's also out of our hands at this point. So, but yes, thank you very much, and bring issues to us. So, all right, thank you. Next up is Todd Brumfield. You mark yes. All right, if you'd like, that'd be great. No, well, that does get us on the recording. So yes, please.
In process of moving here. So I just have a simple question, and it has to do with income tax. I was helping my aunt file her taxes, and on Rita, it did not allow her to have reciprocity when she filed her taxes. So I'm curious to know if you guys participate with reciprocity and why
We do not. And the reason for that is most everybody works outside the village, so if we did have that, we would have no income.
Okay, so for her situation, she paid Norton city tax. And Norton said, well, if we'll give back up to 2% to Clinton if they would allow us to send it to you. So you're not losing out. So if she's paying 2% to Norton, now she's paying an additional 1% to you guys.
It's a little bit different in that situation. So I believe what she has to do is she has to file Clinton and pay, and then she takes that to Norton, and Norton will refund her for what she paid to that 1% to what she paid here. It's a little bit different than reciprocity, because reciprocity is us giving you credit for what you paid elsewhere, and that's not what we.
Why wouldn't that be easy? If Rita's calculating it already, why wouldn't they just? I'm just asking for my own information because I want to know what I'm going to have to do. So
Rita has to treat each entity completely individual. There's so many that they take care of, so they can't look and say, okay, this one's paying here, here, and here, and here. Their system doesn't allow that. So because the address is here in Clinton, Rita's system knows that she owes 1%. They're not looking.
And 1% for Northwest, too.
Well, I understand it, but why couldn't that just be set up, say, hey, Rita.
They won't do that. They won't do it.
Is she still working?
She's retired now, but this is I'm using her as an example, but I want to know for my own benefit.
You have to file in both places, and then file
Your
to
refund
Clinton
from
first,
one and-
get your refund from the other end.
So then she can go back, take her tax return to them and say, hey, I filed.
Right.
Then they'll issue her refund.
And Leah, that refund is from the city, not Rita, correct?
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay,
Because Rita's already given the city the money.
okay. I just wanted
Kind of
to,
a collection point.
okay, I just wanted to clarify and. Yeah.
And Rita is pretty set in their ways. For example, when we started our income tax, a lot of people, like, I guess we'll use your mom as an example, she had Norton on there already. Northwest was ahead of us in an income tax, and Rita doesn't have the ability to take a third tax, Clinton. So we have a lot of people then that have to file the whole amount with us when the taxes come because it's not coming out of their paycheck. They have a limit of 2 that they can take out of your paycheck.
Okay. I have another question if that's okay. I recently joined the Clinton Village Talks page, and there's people talking. You already know what I'm going to say.
No. We don't control.
Okay, I've just seen you doing this, and I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, I'm just curious. Like I said, I'm new, and I'm just curious where you guys stand on this. Annexation into any county other than Summit. Annexing out of Summit into Wayne, Stark. Do you guys have an opinion on that? Have you talked about it at all?
I do.
We haven't talked about it as a group here,
Okay.
no.
Right. No, I've been suggesting this for many years,
Okay.
but without any court. And So the group, and I rarely get on Facebook anymore except for to advertise Apple or something like that. But I was drawn to that by the group. There was a group of citizens that got together a few years back, wanting and ran petition asking for signatures, people in the village that would be interested. Because as a council person, I know that it's going to cost a lot of money to even look into it. Being fiscal responsible, I am not willing to spend the village money, even looking into it is legally, unless and this is just me, I'm not talking for whole council, this is because I talked to the group, and I said, this is just me, I'm telling you, I would not support looking into it unless you brought me enough signatures from the village of Clinton. If we ever got to a ballot, and it would at least pass in the village. So that was the original motivation by that group, and I've gone to their meetings, and other people have gotten involved and kind of twisted it into something it wasn't. So that was their intent, and you know, it's a long road. Can it be done? It maybe could be done, but like I said, it's a long road. It's an expensive road, and unless just for me, even though I think it would be a fantastic idea to go to Stark County for many reasons, I don't think we invest our time and our energy or money unless we know that the village of Clinton residents are behind it and are going to pass it.
I just want to hear from horse's mouth instead of Facebook.
Yeah, and I just would want to say that the Skeleton Village Park is not run by any council person. That is run by a private citizen.
We have nothing to do with it.
We have nothing to do with it.
No, I know you guys don't have nothing to
Right,
do with
just
that. I know it's
so you
just independent. I thought you said kill it.
No.
Oh.
No, I didn't say that.
That's something new.
No.
Okay.
No.
So you would be in favor for it if you knew the outcome would be a good outcome?
At least in the village of Clinton. Now, to do something like that, you realize you have to also have the other county fully on board.
No, I understand.
As well.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just trying to get an understanding of it because I don't want to hear people's gossip and,
Right.
you know,
Yep.
we can do this, we're going to do this. And so that's why I'm asking, but.
I
So-
personally have talked to a Stark County commissioner. They are the commissioners. He's open to the idea. He, like me, though, is not willing to invest a lot of stuff unless, and I said, well, this is where I'm at. And he said, well, you know what? If you get the backing of your community, we might look into it.
So how many signatures would that be?
There's a list out there somewhere.
Well, that would be, to make it pass in the village of Clinton, you need what, 51%? 51%. So if we had 51% of the 6 voters signatures in here saying, go and investigate this, spend our money looking into this, I'd be convinced.
So are
But I'm
any
only one person.
are any of you against it at all?
I can position it either way. I'm open to it. It's only 3.5 square miles. I think if you ask most Summit County residents, especially up north, they probably don't even know Clinton's in Summit County. Is Summit County going to push back on 3.5 square miles? Probably not. Like I said, I can position both sides of it. I think I probably could sell the Stark County thing pretty easily.
You would need about 500.
Historically, we've been part of a situation like this. Franklin Township wanted for us to go with them. There were petitions, and it was on the ballot, too, and it failed twice. I wasn't on council when the first one went around, but it wasn't too much longer after that when they tried again.
Do you think it's because it was still within Summit County and not out of Summit County? Because I from people that I have talked to, just a few people, it's more of Summit County doesn't represent their values. basically the city of Akron, doesn't represent their values of the people that live around here.
This was a long time ago, and New Franklin did not have the Manchester Road activity they have now.
I'm just saying, being within the summit of county,
It was,
just, you're not leaving the county, you're still staying in the
Right.
county, and I think people want to get out of
But
that.
we have gone through this before, and I think it's really hard to get a yes vote.
It goes to the voters.
Pardon me?
It goes to the voters.
Okay, so what you're saying is, if I decided to participate in this, you would need 501,
About 500.
500?
It's a 50% plus one. is what it is.
There's
Well, we have
So I
1,100.
think that Martha said it best. I think everybody on council.
500 is the number of residents
Right.
or households.
Right.
But the number of residents is 1,500, so it's probably more like 750.
Well, if you look at the number of people actually voting at each election, we're lucky to get 500 in here.
Well, I think our registered voter number is,
Is 1,100?
no, I think.
Eight something.
I think it is like 8
It's,
something.
our registered voters is about 800 some people.
You need half.
If you got 500, I would assume to say that you're getting closer to the ball game.
Or
I'd say if you got 250 votes on a general election, it will pass. I have yet to see us ever top the 500 mark on the total numbers coming out of here on
No.
election
and I
day.
appreciate that, and that's great. But on something like this, when it's this big, you get more people coming out to vote. So we could very well have more than that. And again, believe me, I'm like, let's take the ball and run for it. There's so many advantages to it. However, I really need to look at wisely spending the
Sure.
village's time and money
Absolutely,
on that.
yeah.
See? you know
I'm on
what
the
I'm
fence, that's why I'm just asking questions. I mean, I'm not saying that, I just want to know, because there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there.
saying? Sure,
And,
sure.
I just want to hear it from you guys, that's
Yeah,
why.
for me, I'd like to see a balance sheet, the pros and cons, and I've
Sure.
yet to see something that lists both sides and where we stand, should it be one way or the other.
Okay. But if somebody did approach me to say, hey, sign this, what they're calling a petition, you would need at least 500 signatures to move forward with it.
By all means, if it's something that you do your research and you decide that, this is something that sounds viable to you, it sounds like it makes sense, sign a petition, by all means, right? I think Marissa kind of hit it on the nose when she said, we all have an opinion. As a council, I don't think we have a position at this point,
Oh, I understand that.
right?
Oh, yeah, I understand that, yeah.
I'm like Matt, I think you can sell it, I think there's pros and cons to it, I think
It has to make sense to do it.
it has to make sense to do it.
Yeah,
And
obviously.
bigger than anything, it has to make sense for everybody to do it.
Right.
It has to,
Yeah.
it has to be a majority thing.
Correct.
It needs to, government's run by the people. It needs to come from the people. Right now, we're a village under Summit County, so as council, we need to be respectful of that and careful of that. But if it's coming from the people, our boss, that's a different story.
Because
Okay.
that's why I said, if we get enough, council has no choice but to look into it for the people that we work for.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for being honest. Thanks.
Welcome to Clinton.
Thanks.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
Yes, there are.
Okay, I didn't come here to talk about, I have another issue to speak about, I still can at some point.
I tell you what, let me tell you a little bit of the format of the public. Now, I've been very generous today. Typically, in the past, we've always allowed 3 minutes. Due to the nature and what's going on, I gave a lot more time to everybody, which I oftentimes do. But if you want to bring the issue back next meeting, and we'll be glad to give you 3 or more minutes. Okay. Diane Gunner, you're next up on the yes markings.
Well, I would like to thank everybody that helped set up, participate, and make the Apple Fest a success. We started out with the rainy morning, put the tents up, didn't we?
Uh-huh.
But turned out well, and we had a beautiful day. And I want to thank everybody on behalf of the Clinton Historical.
Thank you, Diane. I don't think any of us did as much work as you did, so, but thank you. And we have a few more. We have a Tabby Barbu, is that? You didn't mark yes or no, did you? What? Okay.
Here for 8 years.
A little over 8 years, it's like first
This
quarter.
is literally the first time we've ever come to.
Okay. Well, welcome to the meeting.
And, I mean, honestly, we came to, about the petition thing, because, you know, we're curious about it. And kind of want to speed up the conversation and,
Signatures.
Facebook makes its rounds, doesn't it? Okay, let's move on to resolutions and ordinances.
We have no third reading. We have a second reading. Resolution R 2319, a resolution amending the annual appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Clinton for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023, and declaring an emergency. We have two first readings. Resolution R 2320, a resolution authorizing expenditure from America Rescue Plan Act funds to use in Clinton Road project and declaring an emergency. We have ordinance. I'm sorry?
Explain now.
Explain that one.
Okay, so
Okay.
the American Rescue Plan Act funds that we received requires us to, pass an ordinance or resolution for the purpose that we're using those funds for. Because there's only certain things that you can use it for. Okay, so that's basically telling, I'm gonna submit this to the state saying, here, this is what we're using those funds for.
How much was the dollar amount again? 120?
126,
Close enough.
something like that.
Okay.
126,000 something.
Thank you.
So in making resolutions, that those funds are designated just for that. But this is the first reading, so we got two more readings. Okay. So, and then we have ordinance O 2321, an ordinance establishing a capital project fund pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 5705.13C for the purpose of accumulating resources for the purchase of street equipment for the Village of Clinton and declaring an emergency.
Can you maybe explain that one too?
Yes.
So this is just to establish a street equipment reserve fund. We have budgeted this year to put money in there. We anticipate to put money in there over the next so many years, so that way when it comes time to purchase a large plow truck or whatever, that funds are already there and set aside. So we're not.
Is that number
scrambling.
40K?
Huh?
Is that number 40,000?
When we're putting 23,250 in is what we budgeted this year.
Okay.
Actually, for the next 5 years, that would give us the funds to buy
A new truck.
a new zero-turn mower and a new plow truck, like 5 years from now.
Similar like that account that we're putting in that.
Isn't the zero turn almost new?
The fire department got a new one, not our street.
Looks new.
Because they keep it up well.
Yeah, but the point is, and establishing the funds so that down the road, and if down the road something, yeah, okay. All right.
Those are the readings of ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you very much. New business. Okay, council general discussion. Who wants to start talking about how great the Apple Fest was? Anybody?
It was a great day. Like Diane said, it was pretty dicey there when we were setting up the tent, thinking, oh boy. But it was almost like by design. Right around noon, the clouds parted. God said, "You can have this today with my blessing."
You know,
So
Diane
it
told
was
me
a great day.
Diane told me that it's never rained on Apple Fest. That's what she told me.
well, maybe towards the end.
I don't know.
Yeah, one time.
But never a washout.
You gotta remember, I'm still a new guy. Last year was the first year that I wasn't working 7 days.
No.
So last year was the first time I got to come to one.
Well, when they used to have it in October, there were a couple of times there was snow. back in the day.
I won't hear nothing about that.
That makes the apples look really cute.
It was a great day. We certainly appreciate Diane and the ladies from the Historical Society for all the hard work and putting that on. And it's, you know what, people come to the village and it's a nice thing.
If anybody didn't get out there, one side trip you can make during the Apple Fest is tour the Harder House. It is very interesting. What's that, 1880 that was built? Okay. Yeah, so it's really, and there's a lot of history in that building, and including books that tell you a lot about a lot of artifacts that I've always enjoyed going through.
Oh, and just on that same note, one of the people that brought one of the vintage cars just happens to own the old village, the Clinton Village jail cell. The one that was in our old town hall across where now the parking lot I kind of twisted his arm a little bit. Can you bring that back? And we can use it for a fundraiser. So next year, we're going to have the old village jail here, and you're going to have to pay to get out. And it goes to a good cause. So I that's kind of exciting to me. Actually, as a child, I was in that jail just for fun. Brownie troop. We went. They closed the door on us. Anyway.
Thank you very much. Presentation of purchase orders and bills for approval.
Our purchase orders and bills add up to $25,991.60 this month. So I'm looking for a motion to approve $25,991.60.
You looking for a second?
I'm looking for a second.
Second.
Guess that's how it works.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't.
Any questions?
It screws me up because I'm looking for a motion.
Okay. Any questions, comments on the finances? Call for the vote?
Dinsmore,
Hi.
Batch,
Aye.
Godwin. Aye. Conroy. Aye. Steiner.
Aye.
Trash.
Aye.
Okay, before, if I may,
Go ahead.
we have some applications here that we were going to.
Oh, yes. Yes. Want to handle that? Or you want me to handle it?
What do you want to handle?
I don't know. You don't worry about it. I do at this point.
I know that I was given a manila folder with
No.
So that's a firefighter permit,
What's the name?
Yes, make a motion.
Thanks.
I'll make a recommendation. Okay, I'll recommend the council allow the fire department to hire Robert C. Leach and Scott, there's more here, right? Scott Ambrosia, 2 people, right? Oh, you got a second one in here, okay. All right, Robert Leach to the fire department.
Okay. I'll make a motion. Authorize the chief to hire Bob Lee.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Call for the vote.
Batch,
Aye.
Godwin.
Aye.
Conroy. Aye. Steiner.
Aye.
Trash.
Aye.
Dinsmore.
Aye.
All right, Lewis, I think you're up.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second the motion.